Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Let's have a little bit of a look here if there's any new news out on this Monday. And but first of all, let's check out the chart here. And as we can see, we're really, I mean, it's been only this is the 4-hour chart, and we only had about 3 buy signals over the last what is it, 2 weeks, something like that. And I mean, it's been a very smooth curve here, where you just get the buy signal here, and then you barely go back to the middle line here, and then you get another buy here, another buy. So it's waiting for something, and obviously the market is still kind of, what shall we say, manipulated in somehow, and they just have to decide, I guess, what the hell they're gonna do here, if they're gonna let these institutions in and push the price higher, or if they're gonna wait for the I think it's the halving is in about a year's time, but usually the price will start to move up, I think, before that. At least the last time it was like that. Let's have a look at some of the news here, and we can see that the Twitter CEO promotes Bitcoin, Iran goes full crypto, and Binance adds credit cards. And let's see here what the exact news are. Iran, they launched this cryptocurrency to subvert SWIFT and sanctions. I mean, I think this was even mentioned last week when we did the update. Iran was kicked off the SWIFT international banking payment network last year, and the country's economy was only gotten worse as a result. So they basically, the Iranian government flirted with the idea of its own cryptocurrency all through 2018. And this past week, it became a reality. CCN wonders who would actually want to hodl such a token. But it's that just shows, I mean, that if you're being bullied by other countries or something like this, or it's a way with crypto to to create some freedom for that for those transactions. And from what I understand, I mean, some banks in Sweden as well, I mean, they're using, instead of Swift, they're using like Ripple or something like that to kind of test out the technology, which is kind of cool. And then we have pro Bitcoin Ilarian. How do you say that? Ilarian. Shortlisted for World Bank president. A Bitcoin-friendly banker has found his way onto the list of people who might become president of the World Bank. They're writing here that while Utterman has argued that regulators should outlaw cryptocurrency, Ilarian has called Bitcoin a disruptive technology that could play a major role in the future of peer-to-peer transactions. And I mean, that's what more and more people are seeing as well, that it's for that purpose, it's really it's kind of an interesting technology, and it's easy to send money to somebody and peer-to-peer without banking transactions taking like 3 days to move $100 to somebody. Let's see. Oh, okay, this ETF as well. The U.S. stock exchange operator CBOE revived its efforts to have a Bitcoin ETF backed by VanEck after revoking its application during the government shutdown. So we'll see. There seems to be some little developments going on here. And what else do we have here? Bitcoin deemed as legal tender by Florida court. Apparently some decision here as well that, let's see what they're saying here. This raises the age-old argument of whether Bitcoin is actual money. There is a lot of evidence which indicates that it is, as the cryptocurrency can be used to buy several things in the modern world. Gifts, goods, services, hotels, and so much more can be purchased by other online transactions using Bitcoin. Yeah, of course. I mean, you can use it as money. That's nothing new. Crypto bear market won't last. Anonymous 200 million Ethereum trader talks to CCN. Trader goes by the name 200M Trader. Early investor in crypto, started buying Bitcoin in 2011. He brought the hefty sum of 55 million to the table when he started trading Ethereum and managed to turn that into 283 million within 30 days. Yeah, back in those days, that was the heydays for these kind of things. But it's the technology that is interesting to have a closer look at. The market, he says, the market has cycles. It's important to remember this during both rapid growth and the strong downfall, as we have just seen. It's also just a matter of time when the big players will enter this market, and we have this time for now, and we need to act. And here talking about this halving date due in May 2020. I forget how it was the last time, but I think it's like the market will start to move like 6 months before, I think. Maybe even before. It's something to look into maybe for the next video. So, you know, it's just looking at this and trying to see if there's some interesting developments in this space. Here's an article as well, back to basics. What is money? I mean, that's maybe something to refreshen the old, economics and currency. What is currency actually, right? And I think we know by now, most of us that have been in the space, that it's it's all the central banks are controlling the money flow basically all over the world. And here is in this article, they go back to 600 BC or something, but I think it was even the Sumerians 6,000 before, BC, that they even started with money. And of course, they're talking about Bitcoin here. A new medium of exchange in the form of cryptocurrencies arrived with Satoshi Nakamoto launched Bitcoin in 2009. Unlike government-issued currencies, Bitcoin has no central party responsible for controlling it. And in short, money can be anything that can serve as a store of value, which means people can save it and use it later. And who controls fiat money, right? Well, it's the monetary supply is controlled by the Federal Reserve, while around the world, prominent central banks such as the Bank of England, European Central Bank, Swiss, People Bank of China, and Bank of Japan control fiat by adjusting its supply and the cost of borrowing it through setting interest rates. And I think this was something that probably Rothschild said as well, right, back in the days, that whoever controls the volume of money in any country is the absolute master of all industry and commerce. When you realize that the entire system is very easily controlled one way or another by a few powerful men at the top, you will not have to be told how periods of inflation and depression originate. And I mean, this was shown as well. The Great Depression here, bank runs, 1929 in the US. I mean, this is all, it was all created, right? And people with insights, they were selling before this. And of course, when there was blood in the streets, I mean, they were picking up some cheap stocks again. So they certainly. That's been manipulated since the beginning of time, I would say. And what else do we have here? Yeah, this has been, of course, the bank has benefits of interest on all money which it creates out of nothing. So this is also an argument for more towards cryptocurrencies and so on, and away from this fiat system. But it's an article for those interested in reading about the origins of money and so on, and what if blockchain and cryptos can be some kind of a solution for this, or a better system or not. It is up to everyone to read a bit and make up their own minds. That's about it, I think, for now. As we saw, the prices are pretty stable, and one of these days something will happen, right? You would think, even if it's manipulated. So we'll have to wait and see when that day arrives. So for now, that's all. Take care, guys.